Alright, so this is going to be part 10 or 11, I'm not sure which, of the urgent to semi-urgent message here. As our audience continues with the one I told you about a couple of chapters ago, the birdies, I love to see them happy. I like when they, because they're so comfortable with me, they come right up to me, they'll land on me or walk all over my feet or my legs, or if I bend down to give them bread by hand, they're so funny because there's some of them that they try to walk on my hand. They'll take a couple of pieces first because they're so hungry, bless their hearts. Not like these, blank holes who try to starve them to death, literally to death. Or so they'll leave. I mean, it's all right. Well, let's see what happens when we starve you to death. See if you'll leave. That's how I look at it. Because if there's anybody in my mind who deserves, from what I've seen, the bread more so, at least here, it's the birdies. Sorry. Well, no, I don't mean that entirely, but anyhow, they're funny. What'll happen is they're so hungry they'll take a couple of pieces first, and then they'll jump up on my hand like, oh, okay guys, all this is mine. It's mine. Like one bird will do it. It's funny. Anyway, here's what happens. Everybody becomes happy. They're happy. I'm happy. And there's a sense of happiness. Even the people watching become happy. Well, have you ever heard of the term or the saying, way to go, bird brain? I know you've heard that. Well, you must understand, and I will cover something called nasty habits in another series of chapters here. But they, and a lot of you will know what I mean when I say they have a very, very potent set of nasty habits. And one of them tends to be to try to always make, besides trying to make everybody sad or mad or stressed all the time, they have this thing about teaching. This is what I meant by indoctrination a few chapters back. They're teaching things in reverse. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be a joke or to keep humans as far away from their strengths, which could literally mean an end for them, as possible. So, if you've ever looked up at the ceiling, if you've ever been to New York in Grand Central Station and noticed the constellations, it's kind of like you're looking at a negative. You'll know what I mean. Teaching things in reverse. They have a thing about, opposites, teaching things in reverse, or what I call the DOB, which is the direct opposite blame technique. That's a nasty one, because what they'll do is they will, if they're guilty of something, or they know they're just about to be fingered for it, what possibly seems to be happening, maybe, could be, possibly, is they will, as long as they know it's coming first, this is where surveillance comes in, which illegally should not be done. Listening to your phone calls all the time, or able to rewind them and play them over, play them back when they feel like that is just not right. And there's more to that. I'll explain that later. But for now, if they know they're going to be fingered for something or whatever, they will come out in the open and blame you for what they did. And as long as they do it first, you've got to defend, even being the victim, you've got to defend yourself of a crime that they have committed. And because here's the scenario for them. At worst, they've got half the blame off their back, even if you come out and say, it was them, not me, it was them. Well, if you look at it, they've got not only half the blame off their back, they've got the spotlight off their back. It's insane. It is unbelievable. It could possibly be, might just be, I'm not sure to the best of my comprehension, but not sure, but it's unbelievable the amount of people that I might have discovered that are in these so-called mental institutions that shouldn't be there and should actually not only be out of there, but be out, leading parts of the country. Literally. Beautiful, brilliant minds in there. And you've got, something from a complete just nightmare horror flick, where what seems like, all the horrible, insane, psychopathic patients have escaped and have dived right into official positions and now run the country, but are smart enough to pass all kinds of laws that would, protect them and devour you and I. And that's just it's horrible. It's a nightmare scenario. But, if anybody ever asks me what do you mean? Well, all you got to do is wake up in the morning and then wake up again. You'll see what I mean. Anyhow, but going back to the birdies, I've got to get done with this before this 10 minutes is up. Okay. Going back to the birdies, just know this. The term bird brain. My point of explaining the reverse, people, birds are not dumb. I don't care. You can have the brain. Think about it. You can have a brain the size of a freaking atom. Look at the smallest computer chips nowadays. You'll get a kick out of a particular story when I mention that the same fly and the same mosquito, although it's not all that hot over here where I am, seems to have found their way to my room and always tend to somewhat just buzz around right there in front of my computer terminal. When one night I actually I don't kill anything, I don't believe in it because they're just looking for food or whatever, but even when catching flies, I always made it a rule in my house, we have to catch them. There's a way we can do it, and then just set them outside, or put them back outside. But one night I just went to ush it out of my way, and things kind of started to fall into place because they did not make the same noises. The movements were different. They always tend to hang out in front of my computer terminal. And when I went to ush it out of the way with my hand, as now I know I'm not going to get to the birdies until part 12 now, well, it felt very, very hard. I'll be back in 12.